Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama. Welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation, and our podcast.
And today we're recovering Transformers Prime with special guest star, my alpha twin, Bennett Dudley.
Hey, how's it going?
So we originally covered this show on our channel many years ago, but it was taken down for copyright by YouTube. So we decided to revisit the series for a fresh look and have Bennett join us this time around. But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and put notifications on future podcasts and Little Paws videos.
And thank you so much for joining us today, subscribing, sharing our videos, commenting, everything you do. As always, we appreciate you so much.
Yes.
Transformers Prime.
Josh Keaton!
Yeah. I'm sorry, okay.
Before anything else, Josh Keaton. Yes, he's in here, we know. So, we decided to go on a bit of a Transformers binge for a while earlier this year. And we watched this series, plus G1, plus animated, and we watched Transformers 1. So we had a whole Transformers type binge for a month.
And we also have to give credit to EC on X because she requested that we cover a couple of the Transformers series.
Yeah.
And then we just went ahead and said, let's do them all, including me watching Prime. And of course, when we said Prime, also known as Beast Hunters, Bennett came to mind.
Yes. And we're really happy to have you on here because we know you'll probably have like a ton of Transformers facts or things that you thought about this particular incarnation. Because, fun fact for everybody, this was actually our second introduction to Transformers. It was the first series we had seen, but we had seen the Michael Bay films and then this Prime series.
Well, I watched some of Transformers when I was younger.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah,
well,
but
I guess for me then.
There was a whole lot that once we started watching the G1 series, I should say,
Yeah.
I didn't recall.
Yes.
But yeah, this was the first, when you told me about it, my introduction to Prime, and I loved it.
Right.
From the first episode, I was hooked.
Right.
Before I even knew Josh Keaton was in it, I was hooked.
Right.
So quickly, before we get started, Transformer Prime, also known as Beast Hunters, during the third and final season, was an American animated TV series based on the toy franchise that aired on the Hub Network from November of 2010 to July of 2013. And it focused on the Autobots of Team Prime, consisting of Optimus, RC, Bumblebee, Ratchet, Bulkhead, and their human allies. And it's so funny, it said allies, to protect the Earth from devastation.
and I know people within our nations.
And the villainous Decepticons, and their League of Megatron.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
3 seasons, 65 episodes.
and one movie.
And one movie, Predacon Rising.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
So this time we're going to start with Bennett.
Yes. All right. So, tell us.
What made you originally watch Prime series?
Well, what got me into the Prime series is that I first heard about the show's announcement online and saw some of the original character designs for Optimus and Megatron, and I was even pleasantly more surprised when I found out that their original voice actors, Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, were reprising their roles from the original G1 series.
Yes.
So automatically, I just had to see how this project turned out. And after the first episode, I was immediately hooked.
Yeah.
Yes.
In my opinion, this was probably Peter and Frank's best voice performance as their iconic characters to date, really.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely agree.
And of course, my introduction was through you.
Right.
Yet again, another
Somehow.
rascal recommendation. And I'm like, I've never heard of it. I don't know
You can
how,
watch it, it's good.
but I hadn't.
And
again, like you, first episode was like, I love this.
right.
And I think we were watching on Netflix at the time.
Yeah, we saw on Netflix the whole thing. We never watched it on the Hub. And we went back to watch it on Netflix again recently, but then one day it just vanished without a warning. It just was gone from the platform, and then it took us a while to find it again. It's just been moved to Tubi. And for some reason, the entire Transformers series franchise is on Tubi. You can watch from the beginning all the way to the recent series, all on Tubi for free.
So for free, guys, if you haven't seen any of these series, go there, watch them, come back, tell us what you think.
Yes. So, really watching this, it did remind us a little bit of the Michael Bay film, since they were making it sometime after to sort of blend different versions of Transformers together, because they had G1, which was the first of its kind. Then you had Anime, which was like an action comedy superhero one where they were more kid friendly. And then Prime
Kind of like Teen Titans, the original cartoon in a way.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you got Prime, which makes it way more serious. They still have their humorous moments, but there wasn't an action comedy blend. It was a series taken much more seriously with a little bit of humor in it. And there's a ongoing storyline this time instead of just one-off episodes that are just random.
And I think Prime, for me, is the epitome of Transformers. Now, I know there's purists for G1, and I'll say something about that in a minute, but Prime, to me, was the ultimate. Watching it, I loved every single thing about Prime. There was no wrong Prime could do. And the first time we watched it, we were watching as newbies. But the second time, what was interesting, we watched G1, and we realized that Prime was a reboot, which we didn't know the first time.
Right. Because there was so much in there. After we saw G1, we could see that Prime used, especially when we got towards the end, and they were hinting at Prime being killed off, just like the original movie did. And we kind of love that they pretend that like they kept leading you on thinking it's going to start following the 80s series and having Ultra Magnus lead the team, everyone being separated, Decepticons getting worse, and then they pull the 180 on you and say, no, he is not dying today!
Here's an interesting fact. I'm not sure if it's 100% accurate, but I actually heard that when Peter Cullen Beast Hunters opening episode, or like the first episode of season 3, he was under the impression that Optimus Prime was going to die for good this time. So throughout the recording, while it seems like Optimus was dying and was seemingly out of hope, it was a bit of acting, but Peter seemed to be generally depressed about the idea of Optimus actually dying for good this time.
Yeah, you can't blame him, right? One of his biggest iconic roles. He probably is the character now. And knowing they were going to do that again, probably was a little upsetting at the time. And
not to mention, his very inspiration for the character was actually his older brother.
You beat me to it! Oh my gosh!
I am not kidding. I literally was thinking that, and like, okay, that's gonna be my next comment. And then Alpha Son beats me to it.
Now you're rated mom's mine.
But that is awesome. That really was when we learned it. We're like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
And I do remember one episode was actually dedicated to him in the first season. I forgot which one, but one of the episodes was dedicated to him, and he had said a quote his brother said to him a lot, and they dedicated the rest of the episode to him, which I think was a really cool thing to do. So didn't know all that connected at once.
So let's talk about designs before we get to the meat of the designs of these particular Autobots and Decepticons versus the ones prior. Of course, I've already said this is the epitome of me to Transformers. But what do you two think?
Personally, I think they looked great in this show, all of them. Even Starscream, he just looked very, almost like an actual fighter jet, or even Soundwave. Practically like the Grim Reaper of the Decepticons.
Yeah, that's a good point. And for me, they all of them stand out. And I understand there are people that love the G1 designs, how simple they are, and the square design. So much so that they want that. So much so that they want that literally permanently throughout the entire franchise. But what I like about this series is that the Autobots all look different from each other. And so do the Decepticons. And the Autobots have these colorful designs and all have these rounded sort of shapes. and Decepticons are more angular. They're gray and purple. They have the shapes of the vehicles.
Sort of way.
Right. So they made sure everyone's different from each other, both as the good guys and the bad guys, and within their own group. You can't mix one up with the other. Only thing I mix up are the names sometimes.
And I think two things that stuck out for me is one, there was such detail in their designs this time. When you look at all the others, there's not as many little details, intricate details. And two, and don't think anything, but I remember mentioning this to Rascal. I said, "Did you notice the Autobots look like they have on briefs like Superman? And the Decepticons look like they have a codpiece."
Yeah.
And you say, "Yeah, I did notice that." I thought that was really weird. Because, I mean, they're the villains and they're the good guys because they have briefs. And
Right.
like it was like a random thought, and then I kept watching. I'm not like Jack's mom. It was just an observation. It was just an observation.
Oh my God, yes! Okay, now you're gonna pick up that car. Oh my gosh, that was one of the funniest scenes in there. When they had Jack's mom find out about the Autobots, and like the next episode she came in, and I guess she had been coming in a lot, and you actually got used to her quickly, but she was kind of like being a little nosy, and then like the next time she came in, she asked about, you know, if Optimus is there, and they tell her, "Oh no, he's already out." They said, "Oh, that's a shame. I'm over here today." And Jack's like, "Mom!" It's like, wait, what?
But I would be surprised if she did had a little crush on Optimus.
Probably.
Yeah, like, wait, what? Stop! That was one of those out of nowhere things. Like, all right, Mom.
That was funny.
Okay.
So quickly, let's interject. The series had about 102,000 viewers per episode.
Oh, wow.
And during that time, that was significant.
Right.
And it says the Transformers G.I. Joe Renegade special programming block aired on Fridays.
Oh, really?
From 3:30 to 7 o'clock p.m. And they had, of course, they said an age range of people, 2+, 2 to 11, 6 to 11.
I know 2-year-olds.
Thank you. 18 to 49. And specifically women, 18 to 49.
Yeah, I wonder why. Maybe a lot of people were looking at Optimus.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Can't wrap my head around that one.
I don't know. Oh, man. So.
And it was pretty popular at the time as well.
Yes.
And it seems to be one of the most popular. Although, you know, there's a deterrent group in there. They don't care for the Prime.
Right, which
series.
is fine.
But you have that with every series.
Right. And we also talk about the humans they have in here. And for me, what makes this particular group stand out from the ones they've had in prior series is that they had more importance to the story. They weren't just there because we need some humans in there, because they've had some that were so unfair that people just want a whole Transformers series with 0 humans in it. And I guess they got it with the Transformers 1 movie. And nothing wrong really with the G1 humans or even Transformers animated humans. But I like that Prime tried to have them be important to the story. And there were times where they needed the humans' help, and there were some things they couldn't do. And the biggest thing of all is having this arc of Jack being really similar to Optimus. Yeah, to Troll Hunters and to Optimus. So much so it's like he was like a human version of Optimus without knowing. And I really love that they wrote that in there.
You want to hear something funny?
Kind of like Orion Pax before he even got the name.
Yes, that!
You want to hear something funny, Optimus? No.
Yes,
Jack was the same way.
Yes, it's funny. That is actually one of our favorite episodes and our favorite arcs of Orion Pax.
True. And one thing I like to point out is when we did watch Transformers Animated, we saw where Miko came from.
Yes,
Absolutely. We were just like, oh my gosh.
It's Sari. Was that her name?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes.
This is Miko. Oh my gosh.
Right.
So by watching different series, you really can make your way through the franchise to seeing where inspirations come from.
Yeah.
Influences and the different writers that contributed to one or multiples. And I have to say that's one of the best things about watching multiple Transformers series.
Yes.
Some don't like as well as others, but I think in watching every single one of them, you get something valuable.
Right.
To satisfy your Transformers curiosity.
Right.
And you
true.
learn a lot too.
True. And another thing would be the villains they had this time for the Decepticons.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we saw in some other series they have some human enemies. And in anime, there was a ton of human villains this time, which was a little hard for us to take in. Like, where are the Decepticons? But in here, they had one human villain this time with Mech. And I thought it was interesting because we saw the idea of morphing humans and machine together all the way back in the original series. So they took
First
that
season.
right. So they took that concept and it made it its own thing and its own villain. And they didn't overdo it by having a bunch of villains being like that. So it was one guy with Clancy Brown, and then the rest were Decepticons. And then certain Decepticons were more threatening than others, and they kept adding more in as it went on, rather than have you have an entire legion of them already, and then majority of them are background. So they kept it really specific on Starscream, unfortunately, because he won't go away.
Right.
And then the others like Soundwave and then Shockwave, and I mix them up all the time, and Dreadwing and the others.
True. One thing that stuck out for me, now that you mentioned the villains, are in the Autobots and the humans. You could see the character growth for all of them. Miko was annoying at first, but you saw her grow and get better, not only in relating to Raphael and Jack, but also with the other Autobots.
Yes.
Jack, again, he, like you said, he was Optimus from the beginning.
Yes.
He just got better and better at having more of a leader personality.
Right, and he got to be leader in some episodes. I thought that was really well written.
True. And Raphael got better in interacting with other people, not just with technology.
Right.
And then the Autobots grew because of their interaction with the kids.
Yes.
It was just written well all around, where you had this character growth all the way through the end of the series.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
So, we should also ask you, Bennett, what did you think of the final season when they had the Beast Hunters theme and having the Predator King in there?
I feel like that I kind of wish that maybe the Beast Hunters season could have lasted a little longer, but overall, I really enjoyed it. How it almost seemed like at first it was kind of like a Jurassic Park type adventure with cloning ancient beasts from Cybertron's past, and then all leading up to restoring their home planet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we kind of thought they were doing more with that too, and we found out it was only 13 episodes. It was cut short, so I don't know if they ever plan on doing more, or this was in, they're trying to squeeze it all in, because we were surprised they didn't have Dinobots in here, because they keep showing up in all these versions. They really like having Dinobots or Beastimals or something. So having Predacons.
They mentioned the Dinobots like once, but they never even showed them, or even the Constructicons.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird, because they really like having all these 8 million different cons and bots in the franchise. So them, I guess they decided to keep it simple and just have Autobot, Decepticon, Predator King, and then that was
in
it.
The G1 series, we were just, our head was spinning. Like,
it's
a con or a bot. Oh my God. And at one point I was going, please stop.
So yeah, I guess they decided to keep it simple with
Which was a good choice.
Right, with Predacon and Predator King. And I actually do like Predator King's design, where he's this giant dragon rather than being something you probably won't recognize, or something that, any kid can recognize, and it'll sell a toy.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think all the way up to the movie, because that's its own thing really as the series finale for the show.
And we'll be having a separate podcast for that, so stay tuned.
Right. And I think they did a great job of having every season leading to the other. I didn't ever feel like it was running out of steam, or they were just throwing episodes at you to make some filler and fill in some gaps. third season got so intense that you were kind of worried how it was going to end. So I will say Transformers Prime is one of those very few series, whether Transformers or otherwise, that kept it exciting the entire series run. And it didn't start to fall off or get uninteresting or seem rushed towards the end, because there were points where we were surprised at how many takeouts they did in this series and killing off characters towards the end.
Yes.
And I think one thing that stuck out for me is how you kept getting those Troll Hunter vibes from Jack being, inspiring
Jim.
Troll Hunters. Yeah, Jim. And when they went to Cybertron, I can think it's Troll Hunters, Troll Hunters.
Yes.
You could see where they got inspiration from, especially since we've read the original Troll Hunters book and it was nothing like the series. Now we know where the inspiration came from.
Right.
It came from Prime.
Right. So it's really amazing how much the series impacted Transformers as a whole and really animation. And you really don't realize until you start watching these other newer shows that came after, like you said, like Troll Hunters and others, where this really influenced animation, period. And you understand people have their favorite incarnation of Transformers because there's so many, it's hard to pick a favorite sometimes. But it really shows how well written this was for everybody. And it's a shame that one of the writers had recently passed away. So unfortunately, a lot of ideas and wisdom from him is going to be gone now.
Right, true. Now, a sequel called Transformers Robots in Disguise debuted in March of 2015, revolving around Bumblebee as a police officer.
Yeah, we did see a little bit of that. I don't think we finished it, though.
Well, technically, Bumblebee in that Robots in Disguise series was became a cop on Cybertron, and he was assigned with I forgot her name. She was basically a rookie, sort of Bumblebee's partner at the time.
Yeah, I remember he had a partner too.
Cassie Strongarm, Sideswipe, Grimlock.
Strongarm, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Fix-It, and Humans, Denny, Clay, and his son Russell.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay. And I don't think we ever finished it. I don't know why. Maybe it just stopped coming on or we just forgot about it. But that's probably something we'll end up covering in the future anyway too, since it really is a sequel. And to fix the ending of the Transformers movie, the Predacons movie, because I think people were upset a little bit of Optimus getting that treatment again as still like a heroic sacrifice. We're like, dang, can you quit taking out this man?
Right. It also inspired a video game and comics with IDW Publishing. So it's been a really successful franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's give a shout out to the voice actors before we forget, because we've only mentioned 2.
Well, 3, I guess, if Josh Keaton.
Yes, I'm sorry, Josh Keaton. Okay, so Optimus Prime, of course, is the legendary, excellent Peter Cullen.
Yes.
Ratchet was voiced by...
Megatron was played by the one and only Frank Welker.
And I could not believe that when I learned that was Frank Welker.
He said,
I was like, what? I was stunned.
Yeah, she said, Fred?
Excellent job. Ratchet, voiced by Jeffrey Combs. Bulkhead by Kevin Michael Richardson.
Yes.
He was obviously, you knew him soon as you heard him.
Yes.
RC by Sumali Montano.
Yes.
Will Jack James Horan. And Smokescreen, Superman Northern North.
Yes, that was a surprise.
Let's see, Ultra Magnus, Michael Ironside.
Yeah.
And season 1, Cliff Jumper, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, like, what?
Yeah, that one was a surprise.
Dwayne Johnson and then never again. It's like, if they had a flashback, it's like, that's not Dwayne Johnson. He said, that was a one-time thing.
He cost too much.
I guess he was either expensive or they just couldn't get him.
I think it was probably the cost.
With someone else.
Yeah, it's like,
cost per episode? Oh, no.
Yeah, it's like, look, we got Peter Cullen, Frank Welker, all these people. We're done.
So now the humans, we had Jack Darby, voiced by Josh Keaton.
Yes. 8 millionth time.
Nico, voiced by Tanya Gennardi, who ended up being in Big Hero 6. And
yes.
You were surprised when I told you that was the same person. I recognized her.
Yeah.
Raphael was voiced by Andy Pessoa. June Darby, voiced by Marky Post, which was also a surprise because my uncle used to watch her on Night Court, and I was stunned when that was her.
Right.
And the special agent Bill Fowler, voiced by Ernie Hudson.
Yes,
that was a great surprise.
Yes, man, that was a big voice too in there.
Was.
More than just a few episodes.
So the Decepticons, as you mentioned, Megatron, Frank Welker, Starscream. Go ahead,
Steve Blum.
And he also voiced Frank Welker voiced Soundwave. You said too, right?
Did he?
Right, in one episode.
Oh,
Okay.
oh yeah, you're right. Because he was silent until that one episode where he just basically told him "screw you."
And then. And then another shock was Darren Norris.
Yes.
Knockout. I'm like, Timmy's dad.
He's one of the best Decepticon characters.
Yes.
What's the fight?
Yes, definitely. You can't forget him.
Adam Baldwin is Breakdown, and one that I actually love the casting and was a surprise for me was Gina Torres as Arachnid.
Yeah.
She did a fantastic job.
Yes. Yes, she was really creepy.
And the late Tony Todd is Dreadwing or Deadwing? Which one is
I
it?
think Dreadwing?
Dreadwing.
Okay, thank you.
Dreadwing.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Just like stellar cast all around.
And then I'll stop here. I'll just say Danny Kaye, Clancy Brown, who you
Yes.
mentioned earlier, Silas.
Yes.
Robert Atkin Downs is Thunderwing. I mentioned that. And George
I think
Takei.
you mean Skyquake.
Skyquake?
Skyquake?
Is it Skyquake? Cause
Yeah,
I'm gonna take your word for it.
yeah, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Listen to the Bennett.
Yeah, he knows more.
What is flawless?
Oh, his logic is
logic is
flawless.
flawless, Okay, and was George Takei Alpha Trion?
Yes.
Okay,
it was.
so we got that right.
All right, making sure he wasn't here. Okay.
Yeah. So this is just again to me the ultimate Transformers series, and I would watch it all over again for a third time. It was that good.
Yeah.
And there's not much that I'll keep watching over and over this way. Unfortunately, especially Western animation.
Right.
After a certain period, but this
And
I'd watch
having
again
and having access to.
Yes.
Yeah. So thanks so much for joining us for this, Ben. It's been so much fun.
Final thoughts?
Thanks for having me. Overall, Transformers Prime, definitely one of the best Transformers series, right next to G1 and animated for sure, in my opinion anyways.
All right. Oh, well, I think, that's a good point. I think Prime is still my favorite series right now. Watched G1 and it was actually really fun to watch for the most part. And
Unfortunately, watch Cyberverse.
And Cyberverse was odd. It's okay.
We stopped after 3 episodes.
Yeah, it was okay. I just don't think it was for us. And animated has its charm, just not done with it yet. But for me, still, Prime is my favorite series. And it's the best one that's portrayed the Transformers.
And then also, for me, I like that it ended with a good movie. Because G1's movie...
Oh my gosh,
but
trauma.
This actually was a good movie.
Yes.
And a great way to end the series. Kind of reminded me of TMNT 03.
Yeah, with Turtles Forever.
Yeah, it was a good way to end it.
Yes.
So, if you've seen Transformers Prime,
yes,
let us know in the comments. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Was it okay? What's your favorite series out of all the Transformers series?
Right.
Let us know what you think. And if you haven't seen it, again, all of the Transformers series are available on Tubi to watch. Check it out. Come back. Tell us what you think.
Yes. And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates, weekly videos for anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Yes. And last but not least, be sure to visit Bennett Dudley's channel. If you haven't already, we know you have.
Yes.
Go visit us some more.
Yes. Subscribe.
Watch the new videos up. Subscribe and tell them hey.
Yes.
And thank you for joining us, Bennett. It's always a joy to have you.
Yes.
Wish we could have you more often, but we'll take once a year.
Right.
Well, thanks again for having me on here.
Yeah. And thank all of.
I also have fun.
And thank all of you for subscribing to all of our channels, checking out our videos, sharing our videos, commenting everything you do. As always,
you are special. Thanks so much for watching Rascal Entertainments.
And I'm Mom Entertainments. And
I'm Bennett Dudley.
Don't forget your name. Have a toontastic day.
Peace.